Welcome to another epic story. The title: After Humans Came Humans. In the twilight of Earth's golden age, humanity teetered on the brink of extinction. A miraculous discovery ignited a spark of hope. Far across the cosmos, a kindred species, the Anrayans with their unique characteristics, faced their own demise on a dying planet. Bound by a shared destiny and identical DNA, these two civilizations embarked on a daring journey to save each other, a journey that would redefine their fates and intertwine their futures. As Earth's skies darkened with the shadow of despair and Anrayan's core burned with apocalyptic fury, an unbreakable alliance was forged in the crucible of necessity. The journey was not without its perils. 70 massive arks, brimming with the promise of life and laden with the last hopes of a species, set sail across the stars, navigating treacherous cosmic storms and battling the unknown. Their destination, a reborn Earth, cleansed by nature's wrath and teeming with new potential. Captain Romain, a figure of unwavering resolve, leads this departure, carrying the weight of 600 million souls. They traverse the void, navigating ancient star paths and conquering cosmic challenges, driven not only by the dream of a new beginning, but also by the steadfast belief that they can overcome any obstacle. With his leadership, he inspires and captivates the readers. In a breathtaking climax, the fleet arrives at a rejuvenated planet, its blue and green expanse a beacon of salvation. The reunion of Earth and Anrayan is not merely a tale of survival, but of rebirth, unity, and the boundless possibilities when two worlds become one. The sight of this new Earth, teeming with life and potential, fills the hearts of the crew and the readers with a sense of wonder and anticipation for the future, instilling a profound sense of hope and optimism. Join the epic saga of After Humans Came Humans, where the fate of two civilizations hangs in the balance and the indomitable spirit of life reaches for the stars. In 2030, the NASA program launched the Earth Probe Telescope 1 to fly closer to planets' orbits, allowing better communication and observation of planets in the habitable zone. In 2030, the NASA program launched the Earth Probe Telescope 1 to fly closer to planets' orbits for better communication and to observe planets in habitable zones. In the year 2250, Earth made contact with the planet called Anrayans. The Anrayan species was shocking in comparison. They were much more advanced than humans and were known for their peaceful nature and technological prowess. They were a marvel of interstellar engineering, which was a testament to their ingenuity. The Anrayans were able to refit the Earth probe, making communication far more advanced and clearer for the many light years distant. What became shocking to both humans and Anrayans was that they looked alike and shared the same DNA. The Anrayans' lifespan was a little over 100 years. Due to climate change and other issues on Earth, the average human lifespan is around 68 years. However, humans were 4 inches taller, heavier, and stronger than the Anrayans, possibly due to Earth's stronger gravity compared to the Anrayans. Anrayan and humans shared matching DNA, communication, and goals for the future of its people, creating a profound understanding and unity between the two species. The conditions on Anrayan were in grave trouble, not due to their people's abuse of the planet, but because the planet's core was overheating, resulting in years of suffering from quakes. Anrayan was smaller than Earth, about half of Earth's size. The Anrayan language seemed a mixture of Aztec Indian, French, and Nigerian. All the inhabitants looked human, except for their eyes, which looked a bit cat-like, and their skin, which was tanner and brown due to their planet's atmosphere. The population of Anrayan was less than 1 billion, whereas Earth's was over 10 billion in 2250. Earth has suffered from various issues over the past 200 years. Its population should be around 16 billion, but due to wars, crop supply shortages, lack of clean water, melting ice caps, and global warming, to mention a few. Earth's temperature averaged 100 degrees during its winters. All food was grown indoors and underground, and meat was hard to find, sold at a premium, like most food. There were worldwide outbreaks of different viruses that started killing off millions. The humans sent more probes out to find other habitable worlds, like Anrayan, where they could save humanity. But Anrayan's condition wasn't any better. They possessed technology that could reverse many phenomena on Earth, which would take hundreds of years to bring to Earth. The Anrayans had the technology to triple crop growth, clear pollution for cleaner air. Again, the situation Anrayans faced was dire for the next 200 to 300 years. They were all left for their planet, and many phenomena could not reverse themselves in time. It was agreed that humanity would open Earth to the Anrayans as their name home. This was an agreement that could save both civilizations. The Anrayans wasted no time and started building a fleet of self-sustaining ships known as askas. On Earth, we call these massive vessels arks. The Anrayans planned to save as many of their future generations as possible and seek help from Earth, hoping to send as many Anrayan people as possible. They were looking for a home and a future on Earth, and timing was crucial. Will the Anrayan planet meet its deadline to survive? The Anrayans started building large bohemic ships known as arks in English. These ships would carry millions of people. There were supply ships and acreage ships for growing food and products. It took over 100 years to complete the askas fleet, over 70 massive askas and over 40 supporting vessels, but it was not enough to carry all of Anrayan. Eruptions started happening all over Anrayan. Earth was no better. Earth's population was down to 6 billion people, and they needed Anrayan technology badly. In the year 2350, the Anrayan civilization communicated with Earth, informing them that in 7 days, over 600 million Anrayans would embark on a journey to Earth. This group would consist of 400 million children aged 17 and below, and over 200 million adults between the ages of 18 and 50. 2/3 of the Anrayan population would face an uncertain darkness of deep space, and the other third of their people knew their faith in Anrayan. They believed this journey could save their species. Anrayan had the ability to place all its people to sleep in pods for long journeys. Many of its adults would rotate every 5 years to care for the ships and askas. All the technology from Anrayan was boarded on ships to help save the Earth. This was a mission to save 2 human species. Captain Romaine and the people on the massive vessels said their goodbyes to the Anrayan that remained behind. The people of Earth were filled with hopeful anticipation upon learning that help was coming. The Anrayans also recognized that not everyone would survive this journey. The Anrayan fleet's command will be on a 5-year rotating commander and staff crew, with each commander knowing their roles and responsibilities well. They are aware that losses may occur, even while in the sleeping pods, given that no one is invincible and people can pass away for various reasons during a 100-year journey. On a positive note, Anrayans can live for over 100 years, and everyone has been tested and confirmed to be 100% healthy. Meanwhile, due to shortages, conflicts persisted on Earth, affecting the top 5 most populous countries as well. China's population decreased from 3 billion to 700 million. India's from 1 billion to 600 million. The United States suffered far less than other larger countries, maintaining its population at 310,000, still far down from at 500 million. Brazil held steady at 180 million. Russia held steady at 150 million to 70 million, and it was still at war with Europe and other Asian countries. Most of the small Central American and South American countries disappeared or were greatly diminished. Africa suffered similarly, but later Africa went into full isolation and had no communication with the outside world. Europe was a hotbed for consecutive wars, sometimes with each other but mainly with Russia. It was reported that over half of the Latin population was gone. In the Pacific, no one knows their faith, and there is very little contact. The ice caps floor 90% of islands and coastlines around the world. The Anrayan Fleet Command maintained communication with Earth, but in the year 2385, communication with Earth stopped. The fleet felt alone but continued its voyage in the darkness of space. Meanwhile, Earth's ozone layer has been weakening due to environmental issues for hundreds of years. To make things worse, a major solar flare from the sun killed hundreds of millions, leading to the loss of all communication and satellites. It seemed like the end of humanity. In 2388, the Anrayan lost contact with its home planet. Anrayan core and erupted into a blast that ended all life on the planet. Anrayan communication was used to land the Anrayans near the city of Atlanta, but Earth comms had ended. Anrayan navigation was set during their launch, and they were due to reach Earth in the year 2460, another 75 years. 70 years later, Captain Romain awoke alone with his crew for the final 5-year voyage to Earth. He was informed about what happened to Anrayan and the loss of communication with Earth over the past 70 years. He was also given a death log for the past 100 years aboard all vessels, which recorded over 125,000 deaths. The captain knows over 600 million lives on board. The death of only 125,000 was remarkable. Despite the small number in comparison, the loss will be painful for the families that suffered these losses once they awaken. 3 years later, and 2 years from Earth's orbit, Captain Romain ordered all crews to return to ship duties. All staff and military personnel were back on duty in 7 days for the final 2 years in preparation for Earth. In 7 days, all personnel on all ships reported for duty. Captain Romain gave it cycles of order for the Akash on day 1. Preparation for the population awakening began. On day 4, civilians on deck 1 to 5 were awakened, followed by day 5, civilians on deck 6 to 10, deck 11 to 15 awakened on day 6, and deck 16 to 20 awakened on day 7. Meanwhile, the maintenance workers started turning all pod cycle decks into small family cubes. To make everyone feel a little at home, all family cubes were to be completed in 2 days. The Anrayans will be a little shocked by the size of the houses on Earth. After the captain finished his orders and said thank you to all the crews, that would be all. The children were alive and well throughout the civilian decks and sectors, particularly intrigued by the massive view windows of the vast space. On the ships were schools, dining halls, medical centers, libraries, shops, and everything one would find back on the planet of Anrayan. Back to Earth, Mother Earth had to punish mankind. During the 78 years, the Earth was iced for 30 years, cleansed for 15 years, and then tirelessly warmed back to its former planet's temperature. As a result, the trees grew bigger, the air became fresh again, and the skies were bluer than ever before. The beaches returned to the old coastlines. The city of Atlanta, at one point, met the Atlantic Ocean. There were many old buildings, still standing but covered in vegetation and green moss. The birds were flying all over and chirping. There was no war, no pollution, and no hatred. All humanity felt Earth gave them a second chance. Earth had become a peaceful place with clear waters, an abundance of fish, fresh air, fertile lands, and refreshing rains. Mother Earth had hit the reset button for mankind. Meanwhile, births were taking place aboard the Anrayan fleet. Children had grown up to become adults, and adults had become grandparents. The Anrayan scientists had developed many things to improve life on Earth. The Earth's total population was around 2.6 billion from what we know of, with over 350 million in North America, spread out across the USA, Canada, and Mexico. Due to its underground facilities, the USA had around 290 million people, while Canada had 40 million, and Mexico had around 20 million. When communication was lost, North America ceased communications, with over 95% of communication stopping after the solar event, which occurred 73 years ago. The Anrayans remain very concerned about no communication from Earth as they come into Earth's orbit. Captain Romain orders his military and fleet to be combat ready, not knowing what to expect. Captain Romain informed them to be ready for any hostilities. The military was on readiness and would be the first to deploy on Earth. In the spring of 2460, the Anrayan fleet entered Earth orbit. Everyone looked from the massive view windows, and every monitor showed the amazing blue and green planet from orbit. Everything looked crisp and clear. Once the fleet was within Earth's atmosphere and moved across the city of Atlanta, huge spotlights lit up, and the communications returned. Atlanta was the new capital, with a population of over 30 million now. The President of the North American states opened the communications "Welcome to Earth, welcome to Atlanta, the capital of the North American states, and welcome home. This is President Omar." Captain Romain's voice responded in fulfillment and relief. "Thank you, Mr. President. We are glad to arrive on Earth and to join and glad to be home." The NASA chief spoke over the communications and confirmed their landing zones for Captain Romain. All 70 massive ships landed in the areas near the new capital of Atlanta, among tall green trees and a huge, beautiful meadow. Over 2 million humans came out to greet over 600 million Anrayans. The humans gave all Anrayans the title of human. The Anrayans were very happy to be called human and took their place among humanity. The 600 million Anrayans rejoiced to be in their new home. The banner over the event read as follows: "After humans came humans." Over 20,000 new Anrayans were born on Earth that day. They are the latest humans on Earth. In the next 10 years, the population of North American states exceeded 2 billion in population. Some old cities were revitalized, and many new cities were established. Americans extended their global reach to assist in the recovery of numerous countries. While some had utterly vanished, others struggled to survive and required aid. The new humans assisted in the recovery of the people of Earth. Mother Earth's priority is to save the Earth, not humanity. To Mother Earth, humans are no different than any other species that went extinct. Now, it was up to mankind to take care of the Earth.